Hello everyone, and welcome to the nightly recap here taking place at the Duke Sports Bar and Grill. I'm Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy. We are here after the third round that happened at the Vista del Camino course for the 2017 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. Tonight, we're going to have a great show. Well, I think we is only me, but looking to have a great show. I have talked to a number of individuals who are going to come in, join me as we've been doing throughout the week. It's going to be relatively lax. I believe we're going to have the likes of Paige Pierce. I think we're going to have Josh Barnhill from Boom, and I think, I'm trying to think who else I spoke with. I also spoke with Maddie O from Latitude. So we're going to be having a conversation with a number of the different players. And Josh, if you're ready, we're going to have Josh come in and step in real quickly. I know we're also going to be having Paige Pierce come join us at some point here tonight. And we're excited about all of it. So let's see if we can get right to it. Josh, come on in, buddy. We're going to have you throw on those headphones. Hopefully everything is streaming correctly. And then go ahead and attach the mic, please. You're a professional. You know what you're doing. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. So I'm going to turn up your audio here. And I want to make sure that we have everyone ready to go here. Just a little bit of work to be done. Go to this live dashboard. And Darth of Empathy, I see you out there. And it looks like things are good to go. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. You look good.
Yeah,
you're looking real good. Working on it, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. So, again, Josh, welcome. A few nights ago, we had one of your many sponsored players on the show, the young gun, IMAC McDonald. Man,
wow.
The kid's a stud, clearly. Coming in from Illinois, and obviously he had the Am Worlds victory last year. He was runner-up the year before that.
Yeah.
We're seeing more and more people wearing Boom. What does that mean for you, and what does that mean for disc golf?
Well, we started small, and we kind of got a lot of love from the players to start. Being good friends with Philo, Patrick, all the way down the line. It was just a little side project, and it kind of took off. So now, we do things for, I think we have 7 men and 5 women.
Okay.
So, we try to give something back to them, help them stay on the road, and then they push the brand, and, everybody's winning, and we're, defying the laws of hat making, I guess you'd say, sometimes, and making everybody else step their game up.
Well, and to be fair, when you entered into the market, the number one thing we saw was everybody wearing the Boom hats, but you're more than just hats. Tell everybody about where your vision is and what it means and how it relates to disc golf.
Well, we started from, like I said, nothing. So we raised a little bit of money. I ran a tournament, had a couple dollars saved away, and I was like, hey, you can buy some shirts and I'll buy some hats. So I bought the hats and the shirts actually. So I kept seeing, shirt once a week. Hat was every single day. The kid can wear the hat every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, let's roll with hats. No one's just making hats. We do make clothes and we do stamp discs. We do a lot of media.
Yeah, some of the media that you guys have done, you have a few partners, a few people that I definitely think we need to talk about.
Yeah, so
some of the amazing media that's happened, tell us how that's unfolded.
Wow. So I got lucky. I seen this kid taking pictures, and he played golf in my hometown. Actually, everyone that has anything to do with Boom is homegrown disc golf. Everything from the guy that shoots the camera, the guy that shoots the photos, the guy that does the computer work, everybody. And I would love to give a shout out to these people. Start off with Ray Parker. No one knows him. He's behind the scenes. He's the computer guy. He does shipping, handling. Helped me design the original logo. We worked together at a local shop in town, a disc golf store, and we pitched an idea, and it was like, me and Ray kind of just rolled with it. And John Hollingshed, from day one, maybe he's my favorite photographer. He did my sister's wedding, all the way down to the red, white, and boom. We have Trent Nickel. He does our video. If you've seen any of our commercials, it's some ideas out of my mind and all of his talent. So, and then we have our social media guy, Aaron White, which he's all over the place, always keeping me on track, bugging me, making sure I'm doing the right stuff. And I need that, it's too much for one guy right now.
It really is, and when you're thinking about some of that stuff, there's the social media, there's the day in and the day out, there's the physically making, there's shipping, there's all these things that when you think of a large scale company, you think, oh yeah, there's the shipping department, and there's the billing department, and there's the design, and there's all those things, and then you look and you're like, wait, I'm every one of those departments.
Right.
And so when you can have a few people, paid or unpaid, trusted friends or otherwise, or companions, when you have that support and you have those people backing you, it makes a world of difference, and it allows you to get really dialed in on helping you grow your brand and what you're trying to do.
It's so much stuff, and the thing is, it's like you work a 9 to 5, you clock out, no one, all times of night, people in California call you at 10 o'clock their time, which is 1 a.m.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like, it never stops. They don't, and when you don't want to work, you're still working. And I love to work. It gets me in trouble sometimes. I need to prioritize my time. I think having a kid really changed things. Took me out of the player aspect more into the businessman and making sure that we're going in the right direction all times. And if we do step off track, make sure that we learn from that and keep going forward. Yeah.
Well, you're a busy man, and I know all too well what that's like. One of the things that you're doing is running an event, and you're continuing to try and grow it. You're getting big names there. You want media coverage, and you really want it to mean something to your hometown. Give everyone the first official plug here for Red, White, and Boom, if they haven't already seen the commercials.
If you haven't seen the commercials, we're running a tournament at Belmont Park in Dayton, Ohio. We had Worlds there in 1990, I'm pretty sure. I think Ken Klima won his first title.
Oh, I heard of that guy. Okay.
Yeah, he plays Frisbee.
Once in a while.
Yeah, so it's in the middle of Dayton, it's just park golf. We want as much coverage as we can for women and men.
Okay.
It's a 2-day event, the first weekend in July 1st and 2nd. And we'll be doing some Tina from Whale Sacks.
Tina Stenitis, yep.
She'll be running at the O-Whale Open in Cincinnati the day after my event. And we just hope to really showcase what, I also couldn't do it without the support of Dayton. Dayton, it's great. Steve Wisecup, Slate Paul, Hazy Shade, all these places from Dayton, I step in and it's like, I go other places, I'm like, wait, where are all the people at? So the support from my hometown is is boom. It's like teaching people how to fly since 1903. That's our motto. And the reason why that is we have the Wright brothers there in everything, Wright State, everything's about flight. And I felt like, let's go. Let's turn it up and let's get it.
That makes perfect sense. I love one of the taglines that was used when Nate and Val had worked on Collaboration Beer and various brews, and of course they're with Bevel Beer. When they had their shirts made, when they got some support from their GoFundMe campaign, it read, "I help Bevel Beer take flight," and I think that's obviously that's so appropriate within our sport.
Right.
Obviously we're all throwing. We love the flight of the Frisbee. We love throwing it. And
it's addicting, huh?
It makes perfect sense. And I'm not going to lie, many years ago, I had a website called TakeFlightToday.com.
Yeah.
And I was doing some other things with it, but that's for another
I'm sure
story.
You could throw back in the day, Terry.
That's another story too. I at one point had skills, but I'm glad to be doing what I'm doing. Hopefully, there's a way we can work it out.
So everyone,
I may find myself visiting you.
Terry will be heading to Dayton as well for the Red, White, and
that's
Boom.
news to me.
No,
no, it's not.
No. So Terry will be here in Dayton for the Red, White, and Boom.
Okay. Yep.
He might be doing some cool stuff at the Players Party. We might have some celebrities coming in. That'll be disclosed for later. I'm sure Terry will give you the heads up.
Yep.
We'll have other media coverage there, top to bottom, AMs, pros, women. we're actually working on a second course right now.
Okay.
At a ball golf course, old ball golf course. So the grass isn't, there's no greens. It's
Sure.
it could be cool.
Okay.
So I think Terry will have fun at the Red Light and Boom.
It sounds like a really good time. That is going to be over the July 4th weekend. It's within 4 to 6 hours of my place.
The weekend after Pro Worlds.
Weekend after Pro Worlds. I hear really good things, obviously, about what you guys have done in years past. And,
Second annual.
And the momentum that you carried over from last year into this year. There's always a little bit of an exhaustion factor that can come in after the week of Worlds, but I know I'll be geared up. I may be exhausted, but time to get it right back in the media and make it happen.
It's not going to be.
Time.
It's not brutal.
Ain't nobody stressing. Something like that. All right. Well, Josh, we're going to let you go. We got a 3, 4, 20-time world champ, Paige Pierce, in the lineup here.
She can throw.
Yeah, talk about boom.
She goes boom.
She does.
Hey,
She's
you
pretty
go boom.
ridiculous.
She goes boom.
All right, Josh, thanks for
Take it
joining us
easy.
again. Great talking to you. You're going to see more and hear more. I'd like to thank Josh for supporting us at Smashbox and the Disc Golf Guy and the things that I'm working on, and I look forward to doing more projects together in the future.
Thank you, everybody, for supporting us.
All right, man.
Thank you,
Take
Terry.
care. Appreciate it. Don't leave without your mic.
That was good.
Yeah, you're all good. All right, we're going to have Paige Pierce join us. If you want to throw those on, it might be a little easier to hear me. And I'll let you clip that on to yourself. Probably on yours. Yep, there you go. That'll probably work just fine.
Hello. Check,
Hello.
check, check.
Check 1, 2. I've said before, welcome, first of
Are we
all,
live?
of course. We're live.
All right.
Well, I've said before, I was just thinking about, we have Paige Pierce joining us, and I think about the people that I talk to the most. I think about Paul Macbeth or Ricky Wysocki. Obviously, they're very successful, and therefore lots of interviews. You're probably someone I talk to the most.
I mean, I feel like we talk a lot, so I guess that's a good thing.
It is I mean, I love talking to anybody, whether you're winning or not, but when you're winning, it's a given.
Yeah, and I mean, just for the record, we're pretty much matching.
I noticed that today.
Look at this.
Yeah, we have like the same shirts.
I bet you don't have
like,
mustard on your collar, though.
No. How do you get mustard up
I
here?
don't know. It happened. Today was a whirlwind.
All right, so let's talk about, let's lead in with the mustard. Where did you just come from now? I know you're a very busy woman. Where did you just come in from now?
We had a DD team dinner at some restaurant nearby.
Okay, and is that
That's
something?
not where the mustard came from.
Oh, no.
I just eat all day long, so.
Dare I guess that the mustard was on a hot dog?
It was.
You're a hot dog kind of girl.
You know, it's actually, this is really funny actually, because you know that on hole 6 and hole 13 you pass that little food stand?
I think it's like green disc golf or
the
something like
Green
that.
Cafe or something like
awesome.
that. Yeah, they're so awesome. And everything they do is on donations. And I went over there to get a Gatorade, and he's like, oh, we ran out of Gatorade, but if I remember correctly, you like hot dogs. And I was like, yeah, I do. And he's like, it's on me, go grab one. And I was like, okay, cool. Next thing you know, everyone's like, hey, you got some mustard on your collar.
Well, and by the time you go from hole 6 all the way to hole 7, you have time
It's a
to
long
eat
walk.
and digest an entire hot dog for
absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely.
How many hot dogs
I probably could eat 3 on that walk.
on that walk?
I mean, a hot dog is like 2 to 3 bites. I mean, if you're germ, it's 1 bite.
Yeah, a big germ. Okay.
But for me, it's like 3 bites.
If you were in a hot dog eating competition, like you knew this is what you were set out to do, and it was to eat as many as possible, what do you think? What in your first ever competition, how many would that be?
Well, I've watched, actually, again with Germ, I've watched Germ and David Wiggins do a hot dog eating contest.
That was in Emporia last year, right?
Yeah, in
At the
Emporia,
Worlds.
at Worlds.
Okay.
I would never enter one. I like hot dogs, but I
You don't
would
wanna ruin
never compete to eat them. They're like dipping them in water. Ugh. I'm a texture person, and like wet bread is not cutting it for me.
Okay. All right, so you won't enter any, but if you were really hungry and you're like, today's a hot dog kind of day, if I had to put down 4, then I'd be stuffed, or 6, or 2, or what?
I mean, I could eat 10 in a day for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's a legit question. Speaking of questions, you guys can bring in the questions on the board if you'd like. We'll do our best to run through a few of them. I'm not going to keep Paige too long here tonight, but one of our smashies and followers of the Disc Golf Guide, Darth of Empathy, who's always here, says, ask Paige if there's any further discussion of a signature sniper bag. If so, what colors?
Ooh, and anything that's going to be a Paige Pierce something is going to be turquoise.
Turquoise, hence the
We'll stop at that for now, but
the various shades of turquoise she's sporting right now.
Always.
Okay, makes perfect sense. Yes, Team Green Cafe for sure. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your golf today. You started out in the lead. We had Sarah Holcomb on the show last night. She said, sometimes I'm just happy to kind of keep pace with Paige and not let her run off. Today, it seemed like she kind of sort of kept pace with you, but you shot the hottest round of all the women, +1 on the day. How did it feel?
Honestly, that really did surprise me. It was one of those rounds where I just didn't feel good about it coming off. And I don't have that a lot where I shoot the hot round and don't feel good about it. Today was pretty weird for me to see that after I finished. I 5 of my last 6 holes I grip locked off the tee. Actually 4 of my 6, and one of those was early release. And I think
Something
I
with
just
the
lost some steam towards the end or something. Okay. Honestly, I don't know, but whatever it was, I was just glad that round finished when it did, because the round started off decent. That first 5 holes, or those first 5 holes, are all birdieable, and only got 2 of them, I believe. So it just, I guess it was the wind. I mean, the scores, men, women, masters, they're all higher than normal, and so I guess it's the wind, but it just doesn't seem like the scores are that hot compared to last year.
Okay, well, and speaking of them, I'm going to send another plug out, udisclive.com. We can look at Paige's score. We can look at everyone's scores from the day. It's so great to see everyone's hole-by-hole scoring, so we can assess this here. You shot the +1. What it looks like is that by hole 10, you had 4 birdies racked up, a little struggle on hole 6, but you had 4 birdies racked up, and then you just kind of gave a few of them away as you finished up. Yeah. And you said that was a little bit to grip lock and whatnot. We're seeing Katrina Allen started out relatively hot. She had 3 down after 8, and
3 down after 3. Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry, Katrina Allen. I was looking at Sarah Holcomb. I meant to say Sarah Holcomb was 3 down after 8, and Katrina Allen started 3 down after 3. But then it looks like she kind of struggled to finish out as well. So overall, we've got you at 3 down, Sarah Holcomb 6 back of you at +3, and Katrina Allen at +9. So we're moving over to Fountain Hills. Chris Cobb just asked, is there any one course here that you like more than another, and or how do you feel about Fountain Hills?
Fountain Hills is just so beautiful, honestly. The holes in particular, I would say Fiesta's my favorite, just because I like to, maneuver some fairways, and Fountain and Vista, you don't really have to work any shots. It's just like power hyzers. So saying that though, I do feel comfortable and confident throwing power hyzers. So I believe tomorrow should be relatively simple, as long as I just stay in bounds.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's OB on almost every single hole out
honestly,
there.
if you get past, in my opinion, if I get past hole 9 with the lead, I'll win the tournament.
Sure. Yeah, because by what you mean by that, to further elaborate, is 1 through 9 have plenty of OB. There's water on almost every single one of those holes, or a road or a sidewalk, and then there's OB on the remaining holes, but not nearly as much.
No,
I mean,
there is, but it's a dramatic miss of a shot.
Yeah.
And so for me, when I'm missing, hopefully I'm not missing dramatically. It's like a little bit of room for error. So, but on the first 9 holes, your room for error is so small. All the holes on the peninsulas, and just, the lines are so tight, and any miss of a shot can be
costly
in the water.
Yeah. Now, you guys have been teeing off ultimately 3 out of the 4 rounds and all of last week, and you've been teeing off a little bit earlier. How do you feel about that in terms of just the overall experience, going earlier each day?
Honestly, I don't mind it too much. The only thing, and I don't want to, this is not about the memorial, is just if we're expected to tee early, I would hope that everybody else is also ready early. We didn't have water on the course. We didn't have spotters. And I understand, trust me, I don't want to be at the course at 7 a.m. either, but, sure. That's my only complaint, honestly. Okay. I mean, I don't mind teeing early. If that's what we're expected to do, then, sure. I'm not the tournament director.
You're just hoping all the support for the tournament is also there and early.
Of course. And it's hard for a spotter to come out at 7 a.m. They're not getting paid, and they're probably running late. Got to get some coffee. I know how it goes. So it's a little bit brutal.
Sure.
I would say.
No, I hear you.
Especially on those first 9 holes when every hole has water and you don't know where to take it. That's it. Really.
Well, what I'll follow that up with is I know here at the Memorial and probably for most of the Pro Tour, thanks to Central Coast this week and thanks to Steve Dodge, it's been possible to record your entire round or the leader card of women, and then those individual shots, many of those are getting edited together by Steve, thanks again Central Coast for the footage, and Steve edits them together, and then we get them back to Johnny V in Milwaukee, so people are seeing essentially your entire round.
That's awesome.
And so hole 1, for instance, will happen and the men will tee off, and then immediately we'll go right to some of the shots that you threw on hole 1.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so every hole, you're basically seeing the women's round as well.
That's
as
awesome.
We're doing the live coverage.
I know Corey with Central Coast.
Exactly.
He's been with us every round in Vegas and so far here too, and he's awesome. Yeah.
And that's exactly. So I guess my point, not as much in Vegas. Vegas, they of course put together the whole round, but at this event, thanks to Steve's vision, which I'm going to be the first to admit I didn't think would work, that was his idea for us to be able to do that, and. It's a lot of extra work, but I think it's awesome because we're essentially seeing both the men's and the women's round throughout the entire live broadcast.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd like to
hopefully you
look
enjoy,
back and watch it.
Yeah, please
That'd
do.
Cool.
We've gotten really, really good reviews. 1, they love seeing the women play, and 2, they hate seeing us walking or doing whatever we have to do. So it works out for everybody.
Instead of commercials or dead time. That's cool.
So it works out for everybody.
Yeah.
It's a ton of extra work, and so that's why I give all the thanks and the props and the credit to all the staff and the people that are making it happen. But that's the huge advantage, one huge advantage to you guys going earlier, because that gives us a little bit more time to take that footage to integrate it into the broadcast.
And if that's what we got to do to get some coverage, I'll play early every round.
Okay.
I'll adjust my bedtime and figure something out.
Well, you've been off to a super hot start this year. You've talked about it, and others see it on your face. I talked to your new Dynamic Disc team manager, Robert McCall, today on the course. You have a different aura. You have a little bit different maybe outlook and enthusiasm on the course. You seem a lot more comfortable and ready to go this year.
I'm ready, that's for sure.
So now you've competed in, 4 or 5 tournaments? 3, 4 tournaments? 5?
2, 4. This is my 5th.
Okay, and you've won 4 of them.
Yes.
That's good.
Yep. It's a good start.
It's a good start.
We'll see.
It certainly is. Do you feel like there's been any one thing that's really pointed to your success?
Oh, all right. I thought you were going another way with that question.
Don't jump my gun. Don't jump my gun. That'll backfire. One thing that has really gotten you that extra notch.
Playing to my strengths. I think for a long time I was trying to go for everything, and there's certain holes that aren't in my realm of possibility, so just stopping, going for those, and not playing aggressive every waking moment. But there are quite a few holes that I believe I can reach that certain other people can't reach, or a good chunk of the field can't, so I have an advantage on certain holes. So trying to play those holes aggressive, and then when it's not really feasible, not going for them.
Well, and speaking to your point, I look at, for instance, hole 10 today. Hole 10 is 651 feet. it bends slightly right the entire way. It's the one that goes furthest out on the course.
All the way back. Yeah,
all the way back. And again, 651 feet. It's a par 4, and there's only 2 women out of 24 that had taken a 3 on it today, and that was you, and then the forehander, predominantly forehander, Jessica Weiss. And I look at every other woman that took 4s, 5s, 6s, and so on. There's a great example of where that extra distance that you have off the tee possibly sets up a shorter approach and allows you to pick up a stroke on the field.
Yeah, I mean, definitely certain holes I see it being an advantage. I'm clubbing down to a mid on my second shot where people are throwing a driver and, you know, covering more ground. And anytime I can keep my shot within a certain horizontal boundary, I think I have greater odds. When you're trying to throw a driver and flex it and get the full flight, I don't think your odds are as good. I mean, you're covering so much more ground, so it's definitely an advantage to be able to club down to like a mid on those type of shots.
I think I made a note of that yesterday at Fiesta. Hole number 5. I think it's hole 5. That's the first long one, right? Or maybe it's 6 actually. That whatever hole it is.
6. It is 6.
Hole number 6. I think during the broadcast I said Paige is throwing a mid. You throw a mid off that tee. That's like the second or third longest hole on the course, but you're stepping up and throwing a mid-range there.
Yeah,
and that's for control.
Yeah, I mean that's the first hole. I mean, I'm saying this, but I did go out of bounds on hole 5. But that's the first hole that out of bounds comes into play and can be a dramatic swing, a score separation. So my number one goal is to stay in bounds. If I get far enough to go for the 3, I'm going to. But if I don't, I just try to, you know, play for the 4. But yeah, just mids, keep it in bounds.
And you have that luxury. Not a lot of people can say, "Oh, I'm just going to throw my mid on a 600 or 700 foot hole to get started."
Also, like maybe they're throwing a driver off the tee and then a mid.
Sure.
I mean, why not switch it up? Maybe mid and then driver. Because the first shot downhill with OB on the left, so throwing a slower speed mid is going to be more accurate, honestly.
Exactly, it's a more delicate shot.
Yeah, and then the second shot, you have a huge room for error. The only OB is the green, which shouldn't come into play, and the fence way deep. So throw a mid and then a driver.
That makes perfect sense. And just to finalize that point, one of the other longer holes that we found out here today, where again it seemed like you have a distinct advantage, is I'm sorry, as I was looking at these, hole number 7. You know, that's 645 feet, so just 6 feet shorter than the other one we were talking about. And you and Katrina, again, the only 2 women in the field that were able to take a 3 to get up and down. Did you go driver or mid off the tee there?
That one I go.
Hole
7 is the first one after
across
the walk
the
back.
road.
Yeah,
exactly.
I go driver.
You were 1 hot dog in.
Yeah, I go driver and then mid.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, again, you and Katrina, the 2 longest throwing women in the game, able to capitalize and use that distance to your advantage there on hole number 7. All right. Do you got anything else exciting for us that you need to share with anyone?
Go try out a Lucid Convict. Wish I got to throw more today. It was a little windy, so trying to keep it more, or at Fiesta, I'm sorry. I don't really throw them out at Vista much.
Sure.
Throwing a lot of drivers and or mids, but fairway courses, if you're looking for a good fairway, seriously check out the Paige Pierce Lucid Convict, and yeah, be dynamic.
Let's check the weather for tomorrow before I let you go. We gotta make sure.
I saw it's going to be mid 70s.
Oh, darn.
Unless it changed.
Huh? Right? Fountain Hills, Arizona. I'm going to check it.
Fountain Fills.
Oh, Fountain Fills. It filled a few years ago, I think. During some madness. Come on, let's work. Looks like it's 64 degrees out there right now, but tomorrow, high of 77, and there's the
0%.
0% chance of rain, and that, of course, is
4 mile an hour wind.
So could be pretty nice out there.
Might be a great day. If the tee pads are dry at Fountain, you will see much better scores.
Certainly, they can be a little bit slick sometimes out there. And with the fountain spitting out that reclaimed wastewater, sometimes it greases things up a little bit, not in a good way.
Yeah, I'm having a feeling we're going to see some exciting golf, especially the men's side. I saw the scores are really tight. and I feel like Ricky's going to make a push tomorrow.
Okay, do you want to talk about the men's side real quickly? It was
Sure.
kind of crazy today. For starters, do you hear about the scoring situation?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if, heard it through the grapevine, so I don't really know exactly what's legitimate and what's not.
Basically, and we talked with Michael Downs from the PDJ, so we went right to the source because I didn't want to accidentally misspeak or lead to any kind of or insinuate or anything.
Yeah.
And basically, the long and short of it is there was a communication error or breakdown. I believe it was Yale who was taking scores during the second round. He had either misheard or somehow accidentally wrote down, Ricky, for instance, had taken a 3, Yale wrote down a 2 on one of the holes. That happened on another hole where Yale wrote down a 2 and Ricky really had a 3, but on one hole, Ricky took a 2 and Yale wrote down a 3. So he clearly wasn't
was it only Ricky's score that was wrong like that?
It was. So I'm not sure from what I heard, but it of course sounded 100% unintentional, and it went back and forth both ways in terms of good and bad. I think it would have looked. Somebody could have a better argument if they're like, wow, somebody shaved 3 strokes off of him, but he scored a couple incorrectly. You know what I mean?
Right.
1 in his favor, or 2 in his favor, 1 not. So clearly there wasn't anything there.
Is it Yale's store?
Yeah.
Both of them are like the most stand-up guys ever. So
exactly, and I was
hopefully
thinking
there's no cheating.
Yale score it. No, score
oh
it.
My
hey
gosh.
yo. I held off on that all day.
Oh my
Glad you like it. Good. So anyway, so it was all corrected, but ultimately Ricky got penalized because the wrong scorecard was turned in. So he was given the correct score plus a 2-stroke penalty. So instead of starting the day in the lead, he was on 4th place, still on leader card. You're doing something right if you can get penalized and you're still on the leader card at a huge event. So, but right now, Paul Macbeth finishes out the round. He had the hottest round on the course, tying Nate 29, tied with Simon Lizotte, who's sitting at 29 after shooting a 10 under par. And then Sexton shot the 11 under par to move to 26, and Wysocki shot an 8 under par and is also at 26. So,
wow, this is going to be, I mean, everybody has so much that they're playing for right now. Macbeth hasn't had a huge win in a while. Simon's just coming back. Nate's got his wife and his baby-to-be here.
Yes, so...
And Rick probably wants to overcome that scoring error. So, I mean, it's going to be
fireworks,
exciting,
as I keep saying, for
Yeah.
sure, out there. Kale Aviska, kind of had a stall in the middle of the round is a good way to put it.
Oh, wow, he went...
Yeah, look at all
6
these
in a row.
birdies, and then kind of went for a number of pars in a row.
Yeah.
KJ Nybo was shooting well, and then Dave Felberg, he's getting old. I could give him a hard time, but Dave Felberg playing eligible for Masters. He wins last weekend in Masters, but him and then one of the youngest guys on the tour, Eagle McMahon. Yeah. So kind of funny to see one of our elder statesmen and then Eagle McMahon both tied at 23 under par. So, and honestly, we've seen it. Like, you could go 2 or 3 cards deep, and a really hot round with a little shifting could put you in a tie and send you to a hole 1 playoff. We've seen that before.
Yep.
Crazy
stuff.
You've got a little revenge this year. Last year it slipped by you late in the round, and this year you put yourself in a good position.
Very late, last putt. I had a putt actually at Fountain the other day, and I was like, I made it, and I was like, well, that seemed easy, and that was about 3 times the distance as my putt last year.
So this year, you're going to be in position, and you're trying to close it out.
Trying to. We'll see.
That's what I'd like to see.
Yes.
All right. I may have picked you. I'm not going to put any added pressure on you, but I did, in fact, pick you in my fantasy disc golf.
No pressure. I just want to go play some good golf
I'm just
tomorrow.
like, fantasy disc golf. I'm just saying I picked you. So, all right, Paige, I think we can let you go unless you got anything else you want to share?
Nothing that I can think of.
Anything on the board? Yeah, I'm not trying to get any secrets out of you this time, as I usually am.
I don't think I have any secrets.
I bet you got a few. Ultimately, we'll talk about the scorecard stuff a little bit later. I see that is lighting up. Funky Town says good luck. But yes, we'll talk about the scorecard madness once Paige steps out. And we can talk about rules and other unrelated things. Yes, scores were written down, so on and so forth. Who is Yale's sponsor?
Innova, I believe.
Innova. Conspiracy theories can start running wild.
Oh no.
No, they should not. Elevated Greens, that's an interesting login. Says have fun. Let's see an ace. I'd be all about that.
That would be awesome.
Paige going to BSF?
Yes, I am. I will be there for sure.
But what was the question before that you thought I was going to ask? What's your favorite event?
No, well, Beaver State is pretty close,
Okay.
I would say. No, I thought you were going to say something along the lines of like, what are you trying to get some revenge on, maybe, or something along those lines?
A playoff at Beaver State.
Well, I've never won Beaver State. It's like the one that got away every time, every
Really?
year. I've gotten second there 4 years.
What's your problem?
I don't know. I've gone into a playoff twice too. I don't know. Something about Milo making
Which
me
is
wait.
one of the most gorgeous places.
Oh my gosh.
Best facilities.
Amazing.
Everybody, yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Okay. Is there anything out of the ordinary on your tour this year that was like, well, this is really new and
I
you should
think
share?
the Jonesboro one
Okay.
seems a little out of the ordinary.
Okay.
And it's
on
a
the Pro
tour. Yeah.
Yep.
Utah Open, that's a new one for me.
Okay.
I've been seeing so much promotion for that, so I'm excited to see, what all the hype's about. Hopefully it's as good as people are making it out to be. I'm excited about
I've heard
that.
good things as well.
And other than that, a lot of the same stops.
Okay.
For the most part, a lot of the same stops, and then those couple new ones.
And you'll probably be doing most of the NT series.
Yes.
Presumably
I'm signed up for the
Pittsburgh.
Pro Tour Pass, so I'll be at all those. The national tours, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking Glassblown, which is a
Glassblown,
given.
absolutely.
Pittsburgh's a given.
Pittsburgh,
the
I'll be
final
there.
event at the IDGC and Masters Cup. But
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
So,
I'll
and
be
Beaver
at all
State
those.
playing. So
Yep.
that makes perfect sense. Was there a honk? People keep talking about a honk.
Oh yeah.
I really don't know this story. So what happened today? Sarah Holcomb.
Holcomb? Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. It was honestly the worst timing that could have happened. Who's to say if she would have hit it or not? But it was well within her circle, where she's accurate. So
Was this hole 18
It was
or?
whole the farthest one back, so
Okay,
11.
10.
Or
10 goes out,
8,
11 comes
9,
back.
Yeah, okay, so 10. Right, she threw a great drive, great approach. She got up there and had a putt for 3. She actually passed the basket, so she was putting back at it. And literally right when she was releasing, some
Jerk.
jerk honked, and she had headphones in too, and she even made a comment, I guess I need to turn these a little louder. It was, some people just try to be funny, and
Yeah.
it's all right.
That
It
sucks.
happens. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens playing in these public parks, and it's kind of comes with the territory. We want more eyes on our sport, and we want views. So, hopefully that one stroke won't matter too much.
Sure.
And, it sucks. I wish there was some kind of rule or something where we could give her another putt because, like I said, I know that's within her range, where she's, at least 90% or 80% accurate.
Well, and that's exactly what I was going to say. It's too bad there couldn't almost be, and I know it gets too subjective and a little bit too much of a judgment call, but you're exactly right. When you know somebody else, whether it could be a camera click or whatever, when there's an obvious distraction that was done, and in this case intentionally, and it was probably somebody that didn't know anything about disc golf.
Exactly. It's not like it was someone on the card, because if you're caddying for me and you make a noise, they can call it courtesy on you, but we can't call it courtesy on a random truck and let her re-putt. So, none of us are gonna cheat to help her.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was nothing we could do, but it's just one of the things that comes with playing in public parks.
Yeah, it does, and that's too bad. Okay, so Sarah Honkum becomes the hashtag, and I can't take credit for that one. That one makes sense, but it is too bad.
She'll probably like that one.
Do you feel like she was rattled at all? I wasn't there.
She was in a great mood today. I think. I mean, we all had some bad shots and some unlucky shots. She actually commented she had a few really lucky shots, and we were just laughing. So I think it came back a few holes later.
Okay.
So yeah, it always does.
A little bit of that. Yesterday, some of the people that were on the board, especially watching the live broadcast, felt like the aura, maybe a little bit of the the culture, the atmosphere of the round seems to sometimes get a little intense. Katrina was struggling. Is there a way that you address that? Do you kind of block that out of your head? Is there anything you can do about that? I mean, when any player seems to be struggling or not fully
Yeah,
in
I
it?
mean, there's certain players who, given a certain situation or circumstance, or maybe just all the time, have a certain demeanor about them, and it's just like throwing a disc 100 times. You know how to take it. So yeah, I mean, you just kind of. I know every woman I play with. We play together all the time, and you know what to say to them, when to say it, and when not to say anything, when to remove yourself, and just play your own game. So honestly, for me, it doesn't really affect me. I think anyone who starts to get down on themselves, it only affects them, really.
Sure.
So I just kind of try to dip out and do my own thing and focus on my next shot.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point, is a lot of people, when they're asking about that or making a comment or seeing something online with any given player, men, women, it doesn't matter, they all think about what they would do in that situation, and here you are in it. So that's a great answer to hear as to how you deal with it, because I think everybody has, their different response to, those challenging situations. Yesterday, you had said Madison ran over and she was all excited about her amazing start. She said she was killing it, and she was.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no joke. She went on to have the hottest round.
Yep.
She fizzled a little at the end, she told us in an interview, but she ultimately had the hottest round. Unofficially, her first 1,000 rated round. What was the conversation like last night? You guys, she had to be pumped.
Oh, she was super stoked. I mean, just getting home after that round, it was, she was obviously ecstatic, and she was feeling pretty sick the night before, and so it was just like a lot of medicine, resting, and to come out and shoot the hot round, that was, super relieving, because she was actually like, I don't know how much of this I'm supposed to reveal or not, but
All
she
of
was,
it here on the Disc Golf Guy.
in tears, like, if this is how I feel tomorrow, I don't even think I can play. And so to come out and have the hot round, she was on cloud 9 for sure. And it was good to see that, and just everybody needs a little glimmer every once in a while to reignite a spark, and I think that definitely did so.
I said it's kind of like Michael Jordan, which maybe he was a little before your time, but Michael Jordan would have, if he had the flu, sometimes he'd go out and sometimes have, he was known when he was under the weather some nights, he'd go out and have some of his career best nights.
Right.
And that seemed like maybe she should get sick more often.
Maybe.
Just before the round, I saw her, and I came in a little late, and I just had said, hey, would you mind doing a quick interview? And she's like, I'm trying to get warmed up, and I'm not feeling so hot. I'm like, no problem, sounds good. And then she posed for me for a picture that I needed for something else, and she just, you could see it in her. She wasn't quite as jubilant and as excited as normal. And so sometimes maybe that illness gets you a little more focused or dialed in.
I would say for sure.
You're putting all your energy and concentration into your next shot, and clearly she's not going to
Yeah, absolutely.
So she just needs to repeat more of that, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Today, unfortunately, not the same result.
No, I mean, it wasn't, and I tried to tell her I played with her today, and it wasn't as bad as she thought.
Okay.
It never is. In that moment, you think, gosh, what am I doing? Why did that happen? Why did that shot go that way? Like, how did I get that unlucky roll? And every one of us does it. Every one of us. And I just tried to tell her, shake it off, dude. It's not as bad as you think. She doesn't look at scores, so I wasn't going to be like, hey, you're only blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
So I was just like, it's not as bad as you think, shake it off. And she did. She played the back well.
Yeah, she's kind of hit, as you're saying, she came in with, she kind of sprinkled a few bogeys in there.
Yeah.
And then really she finished strong. She had a few pars, had a little bit of struggle on 15, one of the longest holes, and then birdied 17.
Yeah.
And so, as you said, she finished strong.
And really, she's still in a tie for fourth, one stroke out of third. And
exactly.
Honestly, she could even catch me tomorrow.
For sure.
13 back I mean, it's not out of the question.
You're not going to let her, but she could.
I mean, I'm not going to let anybody,
Okay.
but I'm also not going to let this course take advantage of me.
Fair enough. All right, Paige. Well, you've got to get to bed. It's actually about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I need a shower probably first.
you need to put a little shout on your mustard stain too.
Yes.
There's your pro tip.
I do.
All right, Paige Pierce right here. She's going for 5 for 5. She's been playing really hot this year. Her new sponsor, Dynamic Disc, has been supporting her and then some. Make sure you go out and find yourself a Paige Pierce convict to support her efforts on the road this year.
Thanks, Terry.
She's an amazing ambassador. She always gives Disc Golf Guy and Smashbox her fullest, and we appreciate everything she does, and we'd like to wish her the best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks,
All right,
Terry.
go get them.
Thank you, Terry.
All right,
Be
there's
dynamic.
Paige Pierce. Yep, grab that so your mic so you don't.
Yep.
I'm gonna turn this down, and there you go. Again, Paige Pierce. Thank you. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed our little catch up with Paige. We're going to probably see more of the action tomorrow. I believe we're going to continue to cycle the women's cards and the women's coverage into our live broadcast. In years past, again, this has always been a little bit of a shake-up on the final day, but in years past, sometimes we've actually come into our broadcast early to get the final few holes from the women. However, this year with them going much earlier, that allows for us to give you the shot-by-shot coverage from the entire round. So really excited for it. Looking forward to a pretty big day out here. The first stop, this is the Disc Golf Pro Tour kicking off here in 2017 and our first stop. So a few of the comments out here on the board would be, I'm going to try and get caught up with you guys. Seems to be some conversation. I didn't see of any interaction with Paul or Ricky or those guys on the final hole, if that's what you're talking about. I'll have to go out and look. Johnny V did mention that the smash cut might get slightly delayed tonight, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's when Johnny V has taken our 3 to 4 hour coverage, and let's just pretend this is the block of coverage in one big file, and he's literally just chopping it up and then removing bits and pieces of it to then put it together. I'll give you a full-blown visual here. That's a smash cut, and it sounds like people have enjoyed it. It's raw. I'll say it's unedited, but it's raw. It's from the broadcast. If there's an error in the broadcast, it stays in there. It doesn't matter. That's what the smash cut has been all about this week. So we're taking that 4 hour or 3.5 hour footage, putting it down to 30 or 40 minutes, and it gives you all of the basics. There's clearly much better edited shot-by-shot coverage that's going to be available, usually by the next morning. That's been, whether that's Jomez or Prodigy or Central Coast, all of those guys doing really great work of various cards. But for ours, Johnny V was giving this a test scenario. And so if you like it, it's raw, it's basic, go out and enjoy it. And it's usually released by about now, but I think Johnny V had another obligation that he had to get to. Wife and family and kids and real life outside of disc golf. I'm not sure I know what that's like, but if you see it, that's what you're seeing in a smash cut. Madison seems like a real positive person that can hopefully shake that off quickly. I totally agree with that. Madison's a true delight. Disc golf would benefit from a Rick and Paul rivalry. I think it already is benefiting. And I think you toss in an Eagle McMahon on any given weekend, or now a Simon Lizotte. Rick and Paul have been kind of the central focus in terms of rivalries. That's not to say it's going to always be that way, or be that way in just the near future, as we're seeing so many of these great players come up and continue to challenge both of them. Double stamp life, okay, thank you PP, I agree. Thanks again to Paige Pierce. She's now working, looks like some kind of camera with Dynamic Disc, doing some media over there, as she frequently does. I apologize. Hey, Bobby, oh, Answer Man, quick question. What's Dee Dee's version of a wasp?
What's Dee Dee's version of a wasp? A verdict.
All right, there you go, a verdict.
Where's the mic? A verdict.
Okay, wasp equals verdict. There you go. Right, you heard it from Paige Pearson, Disc Golf not giving us answers, man.
I prefer the lucid ones.
The lucid ones,
Yeah.
the lucid verdict. All right, there you go. Let's see if there's anything else on the board. The coverage was superb. Glad you liked it. The cycling of the women's footage is a great move. Glad you like it, Jim Brown. We'll keep trying at it.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
You need to watch it. Terry, what are you putting on a dog? Oh, what do I put on a hot dog? If I'm eating a hot dog, I put ketchup and mustard. Pretty basic, but ketchup and mustard. I like most mustards. I like yellow mustard though too. EMAC Truth is a beat up wasp. Smash cut, thumbs up. What is the next battle box? I think we're going to see a battle box probably in the next couple of weeks. I think we've got some really good people lined up for that, and that gives us an endless supply of ideas. But battle box, if you don't know what that is, that's when we're taking two special guests, two disc golfers, and we're going to put them against one another in a semi-disc golf related game show format. We did it a few weeks ago with Madison Walker against Brian Schweberger. That was great. So thank you to guys. See Bobby Brown, Jeremy Rusko, Robert McCall.
Take it easy.
Robert McCall.
I'm coming for you. I'm not.
All right, we're going to miss you guys too. See you tomorrow. Robert, I'll miss you. I'll miss you online.
Miss you guys. Bye.
I'll miss you on the mic. All right, Robert McCall heading out. Robert, as many of you saw and heard last year, he joined us late in the year to help and to assist with some of the play-by-play calling on Smashbox, and I don't care what you guys say about him. I love him. No, that guy is great. I think he's a phenomenal co-commentator, lead commentator, whatever. I keep telling him we can't have him do what I do because I think he'll just take my job. So, Smashbox or Smash Cuts are great. Glad you like them. Did Little Spoon drop out of the tournament? So, here's what I can say, and I don't feel like it's really a secret. So last night I had originally posted calling out Steve Rico, hoping he could come join me and sit in with me for a little while to talk last night. And he actually sent me a message saying that he had a family emergency and he had to split. He had just shot the second hottest round at the Fiesta Lakes course. He shot a bogey-free 11 under par, and he essentially left immediately, got on a plane, bought a plane ticket, got on a plane, and immediately went home. His father had suffered some form of a stroke or heart attack, something along those lines, and surgery was required. And the awesome news is, in fact, that he is good. He's healthy, he's recovering, and as I said on the broadcast multiple times today, all my love to all of our disc golf love, the entire, as I say, hashtag Frisbee family, all of us, thoughts and prayers and best well wishes to the Rico family. We know Bamba, we know Steve, his dad who got him into golf. We love all of those guys, Team Legacy and beyond. But everybody, our thoughts are with you guys. Glad to hear that he's on the mend and things are good. I talked to him as I left the podcast last night. I actually called him and I said, he clarified everything was good. He explained the situation. I said, I have to ask, do you plan on coming back to the tournament? He had just shot himself into, the second card, had this great round. He's like, no, I'm here with family. I'm good. I'm all good with that. And obviously then that becomes a DNF, a withdrawal from the event. And if you know anything about Steve and Bamba Rico and Legacy as a company, but Steve and Bamba Rico and the Rico family, you know that family is first, family is most important, family is all that matters, as it should be. And I've been embraced and included in that throughout these years. And again, we wish him the best, and he's doing what he needs to do. So, but he said, I struggled in Vegas with my putt. He goes, and I'll quote, bro, I figured it out. He said, I went out on Monday night and I putted for hours. And he said, I figured it out. And yesterday, I think he proved that he had figured it out. And so we're talking about a guy who's been playing literally 30 years, one of the best in the game, future Hall of Famer, more than 100 or 200 wins in California and beyond. And he felt like he was struggling with his putt. He went out, he hit the practice green super hard on Monday night after a frustrating performance. And he said he figured it out and had a great putting performance on Thursday's round, Wednesday and Thursday. So, again, love to you. We're going to move on, but love to you, Steve, Bomberico, the whole family. All right. Johnny V from Smashbox says hello. Good to see. Garrett Maddox has an interesting observation saying no 1,100 rated rounds yet at the Memorial, worth noting. Well, I think they're all worth noting, but there hasn't been any. Has there? I'm not going to lie. I kind of see who's on the leader card and do a little bit of info with our guests each night. I haven't taken a look at everything. I know the real story of the week is Ryan Hollywood Heedy. That's right, a guy from Wisconsin that happens to be rooming with us and is paying me to say this. Finished 7th in advance. Boom. Good job, Ryan. Proud of you. Dustin Skorpinski just behind him. Great shooting boys from Wisconsin. Glad to see it. All right, Ben Slakey says, I know it's super late, but could we get a smash cut of 2015 USDG final round? No edited cut was ever released. I've never had the 5 hours to set aside to watch it. Ben, that's on you, bro. That is on you. You've never had 5 hours. If you're sitting here watching me right now, I'm going to second guess some of your time management because you've had 5 hours. All you got to do is click, 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 click. It would be super easy for you to do. Anyway. All right. Hey, Johnny. I think it would benefit is Ricky. I think it would benefit is neither Ricky or Paul won tomorrow. Johnny V says he's back from the Bucks game. Eagle keeps showing up. Is he the third guy in that mix? He very well may be. Verdicts told you. How many times did Terry refer to as Eagle? I apologize. Somebody, Joe Stewart, an avid watcher, told me on hole 18. He sent me a private message and said, just so you know, you called Eagle Simon or Simon Eagle again. I apologize. It doesn't surprise me. They're two incredibly talented, young, lanky, far-throwing Discmania boys. Schmiegel. I don't know how I can mix their words together. Somebody will have to figure that out for me. But I apologize. Of course, no disrespect to either of them if I did it. I don't know how many times I did it today. I was in a little bit of a goofy zone today, but I apologize. Please forgive me. Believe it or not, I get sick of hearing myself talk after all those hours too. Paige, are you coming to the PLO later this year? I think she means the Phoenix Ladies Open. That's going to be in November. She'll think about it. Get one of the DD Wheat Shield hats. Okay. Why not a disc golf roast? I don't know that sounds like a good idea. I don't want to be part of that. I got media work to do. What is your favorite shot of the day from the group you follow? That's a great question. You may have heard it in my voice, screaming like my 8-year-old daughter. I guess I didn't scream, but the shots that Paul and Simon threw, or should I say Paul and Eagle? No, Paul and Simon threw in the air on hole 10. I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen air shots. Paul threw, if that hole is 651 feet, let's do some math. 651 feet equals some meters, 200-ish. 651 feet, Paul was just about at the 45 to 50 foot range for a putt. 600, carry the one, minus, do some math up here. That's a 600 foot gentle turnover that slightly pans out. Down a relatively narrow fairway. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. That's what I'm going to say about that. I was talking to our newer cameraman, and I had told him, roughly where I think shots will land, and then to see those come in, and then, Simon's ultimately, was about the same distance, but actually had flared off to the left. Just ridiculous. That's all. That's what I'm going to say. So I hope that answers the question fully and honestly. Yes, Macbeth's 670 foot air shot. I don't think it was 670. I just did some math. All right. Just heard him in Disc Golf Answer Man, and he killed it. Wait a minute. You heard who in Disc Golf Answer Man? Oh, Robert McCall. Yes, I got to think back a second. I'm a little behind you guys. Robert McCall's amazing. Terry, what's you and your Smashbox's next stop after Memorial? 2 weeks from today, we will be in Waco, Texas, a place I have never been. We're going to be at a course, a single course for the whole weekend, and that is a Disc Golf Pro Tour stop. So we're going to be covering the Waco Charity Open, covering it live right here, Smashbox TV and Disc Golf Pro Tour. That's where we'll be in 2 weeks. I may be home for actually a week or so. I've got Nate and Val. Some of you may have heard of them. They're going to be coming to Wisconsin in the next week and brewing a collaboration beer, and then, coming back to Wisconsin about a month later to participate and be at a tournament that I'm running in April. A little B tier, but having the single most decorated couple in disc golf, having them in Wisconsin to do this really fun collaboration beer and be part of that all in the next month. I got some work to do there. Macbeth was, yes, it was crazy. It was good. It was so good. 1082 from Macbeth is the best of the week. Okay. To my fifth in advanced way back then. Not sure about today's ratings. Steal the 2011 World's footage. Tell me about it. I paid for that. I paid, as I did every year, to pre-order a World's DVD or whatever was happening. And Derek Hastings is one of the most talented individuals on the planet when it comes to editing. He's won Oscars, is that what they're called? I was gonna call them Grammys. Oscars. Unfortunately, don't hold your breath on the World's 2011 footage. That's what I can say to that. All right. They both throw PD2 700 feet. Only difference between them is one eats meat. Simon and Seagull. There you go. That is a very, very appropriate one. Like that one. Or Schmeagle from LOTR. Laugh out. No, I'm just kidding. Lord of the Rings, which I've never seen. Sorry. How big is the beef between Paul and Ricky, and also why did Ricky walk away from Paul in 18? I didn't see that. I'm going to have to go back and look at the footage to see if it was in fact intentional. The camaraderie throughout the group, there was a few laughs amongst them all. They shook hands all before the round. There was a slight change in demeanor by Ricky. You could tell that once the scoring situation had been realized and addressed shortly before the round, Ricky had a little bit different demeanor to him, and which is too bad. Nobody loves hearing that kind of news, and it was so unfortunate that it all went down the way it did, or that it even happened at all, I should say. So Ricky, I don't think was in the best of moods getting started. However, I'm not sure that affected him all too much. I want to go back and quickly look at the scores. Ricky, of course, still finds himself on the lead card. He started out 4 for 4 for birdies. Hole 5, I feel like he just maybe barely missed the putt. He struggled a little bit on 6. He struggled. He had the OB on, he struggled on 9. He took a 4, and then on 12 he took a 4 because he came up short and went OB there. Yeah, he had a solid round though, still at -8 on the day. So, I don't know about that. Let's see what else we have here on the board. Sorry, trying to get caught up with you guys. All this answering stuff. It's like I need a disc golf answer man for that. Just kidding, I don't. It's SETI 111. It's crazy seeing Paul throw that at practice range at Rock Hill at USDGC. High flex destroyer shot that never comes back down. It is certainly crazy. Any advice for people that want to experience the Memorial for the first time next year? Of course, first and foremost, you have to sign up right away. Registration doesn't sell instantly, but it sells out very, very quickly. So just get signed up. bring a lot of extra discs. Get out here a few days early so that you can see all 3 courses, but bring a few extra discs or a few extra bucks to spend at spinners on the green. But get signed up. Make sure your PDGA membership is renewed. Make sure you've already been taking the officials test if that's required or not. Whatever it is, do all that stuff early, and then sign up as soon as registration opens. And then do some searches for Airbnbs. Save yourself a few bucks. What brewery was that at in Wisconsin with Nate and Val collab? Elevated Greens asked. I'm going to be, thanks to Keegan Wensler from Wisconsin. It was through his employment and connection. Nate and Val are working with Explorium Brewery, which is in Greendale, which we'll call that the south side of Milwaukee for those that want to place a reference on a map. South side of Milwaukee, brewing the beer, and then coming back a few weeks later for the event. Super excited about it. Daniel says, thank you for all you do. You're welcome, Daniel. Glad to do it. Whatever happened to the Chains movie? Same situation as the 2011 World's footage, ? Yes. Disc Golf Nerd, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. What tourney are they releasing the collaboration brew? I like beer. They are coming for me in Wisconsin for my event. That's going to be the Skyline Classic. Registration's available. I registered online.com. I've been getting a ton of registrations since announcing them coming, which is really no surprise. Both days are about half full-ish. So on all intermediate, rec, and novice players, all those divisions play on Sunday, and all other division, all the professionals divisions plus all the advanced divisions play on Saturday. Please sign up immediately. Working with Discraft, it's going to be a trophy-only based event. You're going to get a super solid player pack and then some super solid trophies. The quicker that sells out, the more we'll know and the more we can do for you guys. So please get signed up as soon as possible for that. Alrighty, Benjamin Long, how you doing tonight, buddy? Good to see you. Everyone needs to smack that lime button. I don't know what that means, Joe. Terry taking jabs. No, I'm not. All right, what is wrong with Paul's knee? He needs to get back to his staggered stance, right? Thanks to Steve Hill over at Ultra World last week, I was kind of questioning the same. And he just has said that he feels more comfortable with that stance right now. I don't know if he necessarily needs to get back with his regular forward stance. I'm not going to question the 4-time world champ. I'll let him figure it out on his own. I mean, he's obviously proved he's still a good putter. He's leading this weekend, but he did miss a few putts today. That I'm not saying he should have made the 50-footer on the par 4 for eagle, although I wouldn't have been surprised. I was surprised when he missed the 25-footer on hole number 15 for what would have been a birdie 3. That one did surprise me. It's not too often Paul McBeth misses 1 or 2 putts from inside the circle on any given day or night. Trevor, good to see you tonight, buddy. It says, is Worlds the only big tournament where the top pros play Pier Park in Portland, Oregon? I always watch the old footage and want more. Yeah, the women played there. The men did not play Pier Park. I don't know what other events get played there, but even the Pro Worlds, the men did not play Pier Park. It was played there for the mixed doubles round, and it was played there by the women and maybe a few other divisions, but the open men did not play Pier Park, which, frankly disappointed me only because I'd heard so many good things about it, and I was there for the Worlds competing in 2014, and I did not get the pleasure of playing Pier Park. So, sorry, can't help you out there. Simon is looking good. He certainly is. He was a little frustrated with a few of his, errant shots today, as they all can be. Lizotte and Felberg look very solid coming off injuries. Clearly, Dave Felberg, if you heard the interview earlier today, really the reason to call him a Borg. He had some things fused in his neck and bones and something about a cadaver dog or something. I don't know. There was something that he was in, but it sounds like a lot of work in there. So huge props to Dave Felberg. And the next generation car that will be won at the end of the year will be on display at Fountain Hills. In fact, Dave Feldberg was silly enough to say that I might be able to drive it. So that's not a bright idea. I'm just saying right now, don't tell Dave that. But it would be funny to go ripping around some fairways out at Fountain Hills. Am I going to the Nick Hyde? I am, Funky Town. That is a stop 4 weeks from now on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, so that means I'll be there. Smashbox TV is going to be giving you live coverage, and I will be there at the Nick Hyde. Meyer Park, Harry Myers Park in Rockwall, Texas is an amazing facility. John Houck design, 18 holes, championship caliber. I've had the pleasure of being there the last few years, being present at that course, thanks to Matt Seary of Heiserbaum, and just a great facility. So looking forward to being there. All right, stoked to see Simon playing well. I think we're all entertained by that. I agree. Darth says, you are awesome, Terry. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. You're absolutely welcome. Glad I can do it. That Old Rose City Open coverage is awesome. Okay. Any aces? Haven't watched much of the coverage yet. I haven't heard of a lot of aces. Big Germ talked yesterday on the podcast or the broadcast about how someone in his group got an ace. You could easily go out to udisclive.com and see of any aces that have taken place on any given round, but I can't say I've been seeking out any info for them, but I don't know how many aces there have been. I'm sure there have been a few. All right. Terry, are you lonely sitting all alone? No, I can babble on for hours. I don't need somebody. I was expecting, Matty O at some point. I did talk to him. I don't know if he got scared off or if there's any other disc golfers out there that feel that they should be moving on in to talk to me. But if they want to, they're welcome to, if anyone's listening. I'll be at Fountain early to set up a Word C tomorrow, Terry. Sounds good, Chris Cobb. Local to the Phoenix area. Chris, thank you for all you're doing. I know you work hard on and off the course, so thank you for everything you're doing. Philo almost aced, hit solid middle chains and post pushed it out. Wow. I didn't hear of that, Dave, but that's crazy. Philo Tross, trying to get it done. What happened to Steve Rico? Becca asked. There was a family emergency. He rushed home. Everyone's good. He's good. In fact, I think it's worth also just reading. I don't want to dig too far back into it, but I'll read what he did post on Facebook. And that was, if it's on Facebook, it must be true, right? So on Facebook, I thought I saw it. Did it disappear? Basically, he had said, okay, here it is. Thank you for everyone for the prayers and positive vibes. Everything is okay now. God is good. No matter how good or bad a round of golf is, remember family is so much more important than anything. Enjoy the rest of the memorial, everyone. I love you all. So that is from the camp of Steve Rico. Again, great guy, great family. Let's see. Smashbox at Masters Cup, not likely. There is very little to almost no cell coverage at that Dave LaViega Park, making live nearly impossible. Unless there's some magic that happens or some technology that gets developed, live is almost essentially impossible out there. So not too likely you're going to see live out there. Not this year. Good coverage. Good night. Great coverage, Terry. I'm on the injured reserve list, and the quality coverage is highly appreciated right now. Thanks. You're welcome, Seti. Thanks for being a smashy. What about Eagle's knee? He had that wrap on yesterday and haven't seen footage from him today yet. As far as I know, Eagle's okay. He didn't make any other mentions to me that I know of. Say Hey 22 says 8:30ish. Sounds like a party. So I am in the very back room of Duke Sports Bar and Grill, huge supporter and sponsor of the tournament. And they have, in the last few years, added foosball back here, and it looks like they've developed their dart scene. And so I see a couple people playing some metal tip darts on really nice boards where I was briefly set up yesterday and had to tear down and move. There's a couple of pool tables here, and now I see there are 4 foosball tables. And the other night while I was in here, they had removed 2 additional ones because, 5, because they had a league or a contest or a competition going on. So not the case anymore, but that's what's going on back here in their furthest back room. They had trivia night going on. There's an outside patio. There's people everywhere. Yeah, great place to be. If you ever get to Scottsdale and you come play Vista, walk into Duke's. It's literally right off of what is normal hole 13. Walk in here, tell them you're a disc golfer, visit spinners on the green, and have yourself a good time. Okay, ace and MG won today at Fiesta. Awesome. Congrats to whoever got the ace at Fiesta in Advanced Grand Masters. Philo splashed out a hole 6 yesterday. Okay. 6 at Fiesta? I don't think that's what happened. Not for an ace. I think you mean 5. I think Big Germ was close to an ace. But 6 is like 600 feet. So, Kevin James, are you sure on that? Kevin James, I'm going to call you out for being wrong. I don't think he almost aced a 600. I know he's Philo draws and all, but I don't think he splashed out a hole 6, unless I don't have my holes correct. 3 goes down, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't think he splashed out a hole 6 yesterday. Or today. Today's 700 feet on hole 6. Thanks for covering the ladies more. Gives my daughter some DG heroes. Randon, I can't take that much credit for it. Again, that's Corey at Central Coast doing the filming. That's Steve Dodge editing together some quick clips and then shooting them up the internet to Johnny V back in Milwaukee to then filter them into the round in a very strategic fashion. Dare I say, I just get to say, let's cut to some women's footage, which I need to vary that up, how to say that more often. But whenever we have it, we're going to cut to it on those holes. Any shuffleboard? Yes, elevated greens. This is one of the first places I ever played shuffleboard many, many years ago, 10, 12 years ago. They have 2 amazing shuffleboard boards here. They're awesome, and there's always golfers. Jeff Jacqua, who ran last week's National Tour event in Vegas. If you ever want to hunt him down here at the Memorial, just go to the Duke Shuffleboard. You'll probably find him there. John Cinco says, next year if I see you sitting there by yourself, I can swoop in and update you on Advanced Masters. People have not been asking about Advanced Masters, so but you could, if I'm here alone, you could come in and give me updates about Advanced Masters. I'd take that if I'm here alone. All right, Kevin James says, I don't know, it was short. Well, it was 250 feet. Then it could have been hole 5, it could have been hole 4 out at Fiesta, but it wasn't hole 6. But okay, I got what you're saying. With the road behind it, okay, that is hole 5. I love watching the women play. There was a lot of negativity on the live chat, but it was great to see. We need more of it. I don't want to beat that one, continue to beat that one to death, but yeah. I don't even know what to say to it. Women's coverage is important. We want to give as much as we can. Right now, the men with the women seem to work really well. However, if we ever are live with just women, as we were at Fiesta, I'm honored to do it. And if you whined about it or complained about it, all I can say is think outside yourself for a little bit. That's what I'll say about that. I understand you want to watch the men. I get it. We've heard it. We hear you, whether you're trolling politely or not at any given day. But think outside yourself. There's people that also would like to watch the women, and the women deserve coverage as well. So I'm going to leave it at that before I get worked up. I would have said that before I had 2 daughters, ages 5 and almost 6 in a couple days. All right. Terry's right. Just check the Joe Miz footage. Philo splashed out on 5. Was there a question about me being right? Okay. Even if I did make about 4 to 6 verbal blunders during the round today. That happens, especially when you're alone for that long. Terry, you may not be lonely by yourself, but real talk, do you miss Johnny V? Of course I miss Johnny V. A little bit. We have an ongoing conversation going on right now about who should hang up when we end our phone call conversations, like in the car or when I'm on the road. And he says that I never hang up first. And as I yelled the other day, I'm on Bluetooth in the car and trying to drive, and then hands-free talking to him, but he wants me to hang up first. And I always think, why wouldn't you just, you're sitting at a desk. Hit a button. You're not going anywhere. You want me to hit the button? It just makes sense that you do it. Why is it my responsibility to hang up, Johnny? I know I have said it before that the women can outplay most of the men anyway. I will take Paige Pierce for $1,000 against damn near any man you want. Pull your local guy off a course, and I'll put Paige Pierce up against him, because Paige Pierce would beat and outdrive 99% of your typical population out on the planet. She's good. All right. What's the drama I'm hearing occurred today? I don't know about drama. Said no drama. Ain't no drama. Okay. Ricky Wysocki had some scorecard issue. We talked about that way earlier. I'm not going to backtrack into that one yet again, but everything's good. Coverage was great. Women coverage was great. I show my daughter the women who can throw farther than dad. Yeah. Okay. Johnny V saying that not just in the car, it's ever, saying I never hang up. Okay, so it's your job. You're older. Done deal. What would your reaction be if you were told that your score was wrong on 3 holes after the previous round? I would probably act, from what I could see, as Ricky did today, which was probably maybe a little miffed. I would react, I think miffed would be a good word. I'd be a little beside myself because I would think, well, should I have caught that or not? Because ultimately, though, his score was off by 1. There were 3 errors, but on 3 holes, but the score was off by 1. 2 holes were accidentally scored 1 stroke better in his favor, and 1 hole was scored 1 stroke worse in his favor. So on a short course like that, where there's a ton of birdies, you're not paying attention to every single stroke in your head, maybe, which is fine. To be, in theory, it was 1 off of what he really shot. And so I could understand, missing that one or thinking about that. How I'd react, I don't know. That's a great question. I feel like he handled it as professionally as possible from what I could tell. Of course, he was a little bit frustrated as the round was getting started, but that's understandable. Steve, are you looking for your computer? Because it's right there. Your computer's in there if you'd like it. Steve Dodge Disc Golf Pro Tour. There's got some charge to it, probably. So.
Did you want me to go over some stats?
Yes, Steve is going to step over here. I can't say step inside the smash box, because step inside the stats box. Hey-o. I can't do that. This is a disc golf guy operation, even though I'll steal the lines.
Hashtag stats box.
Hashtag stats are fun.
Is that live?
No, here, we'll see how you look. People apparently liked me outfitted in your stuff last night.
Should we change shirts today?
No, but Paige Pierce is wearing the same shirt, except for she has mustard on her collar. I don't.
Can I hear you if I put these on?
Probably, maybe not. Yeah. Does that sound any better?
Does everybody at home have these?
No, in fact, I don't have 2 pair. I'm not going to say why, but I don't have 2 pair.
Why'd you look at Rick?
No reason. All right, that's what it looks like.
Okay, that's great.
How's that?
Do you think everybody can tell that I'm flexing? Guess
No.
how many push-ups I can do.
How many can you do? We see this 22 push-up challenge for our vets out there.
I think I could do 22. Not right now.
Why not right now?
I think I could do 20.
Okay. I'm kind of a wimp. I don't know that I could. Actually, I could.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to miss a few things.
You could do more than me?
Could I do more than you? No. I've been working out.
I could do 22 exactly.
That would probably be about close. I've been working out.
So,
Yeah.
I gotta say, this has been an incredible 4 days, 5 days, 6 days.
How many days have we? I don't even know how many days we've been
I
here.
came from Vegas, bro. It's all blur.
But there were a lot of really new things that we tried.
In
Like-
Vegas?
Those weren't new.
Okay.
Might have been new to you, but they're not new.
Okay.
Like splicing in the women's coverage during the round.
We've talked about it. They cannot love it enough. Johnny V came into my ear today and told me some people were complaining, like, with all this women's coverage, it seems like everything's going so fast now. Like, we're giving you so much great golf. He was on. They were as if they were
Like
complaining it was too much good
When
golf.
do I go get my beer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's in all the promo pieces. I said,
Your
pop
bevel
your
beer.
popcorn, go get your drinks, go get your bevel on. Yeah, you're going to be ready. You're going to be glued to the set. And that's what we want.
So thank you. How did your editing go? I didn't see any of the pieces. We're not going to talk about you misnaming them. So when I said go to hole 10, the one named hole 10 didn't, well, it popped up, but it didn't have hole 10
Right.
footage. Naming is more important in that situation than ever before, Steve.
So, well, it turns out that I knew a couple holes on the course very well. And I think I got to about 14 or 15, and I said, this is the number and that I'm on is different than the number that I'm typing. Like I'm saving this as file 16, but it's clearly hole 15, and yeah. And so I assume you got the message from Johnny.
That's one way to put it.
So
What the is this? What are we? What's?
I texted Johnny and I said, Johnny, just so you know, I've renamed these 3 files because I got it wrong. And he said to me, Steve, you've been wrong since hole 6.
Yeah, he said hole 6 through 15.
It's like, well, there you go.
Which is funny because you put together 1 through 6, and then you had to run around and do some other things, and then my most polite gesture at, hey, get back on it, was me saying, hey, we've got 1 through 6 and it's going to play very fast. So when you did get back to editing, you were just all off.
I guess I started on 6 again.
Guess.
So I just did 6 again with 7's footage. Yeah. So anyway, that was it was pretty entertaining on my end.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think what actually happened was I did 7 and I called it 8.
Something like that.
yeah.
But so you were saying people, you've been doing it. It was the first time we've tried it, and the response has been through the roof. Paige, for instance, didn't know it was even happening, which is fine. Cale Lavis guy explained to him as we were walking down the fairway on hole 14 today. He said, "How things going for you?" I said, "We're killing it, buddy." He's like, "Yeah." I said, I think we're killing it." And then I explained to him what was happening. You know, that they were watching women's
Right.
footage as him and I were walking. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know his mom and his family tune in from throughout the year usually. I think he's got relatives here now today, but it's a new level. Did we set the bar too high? Because now everybody's going to want it all the time.
Is there a chance? Well, I was going to say that exact same thing. Is there a chance that I messed up the whole names on purpose to allow
so
for
we have improvement for tomorrow?
Small room for improvement tomorrow.
Here's the difference, though: is Johnny made up for your mistake. So
so everybody
it still
doesn't even
came
know.
off mostly not. No, thanks
They
to Johnny.
messed up one hole, maybe. I mean, as far as
You
everybody,
may have
the
seen
viewers.
like the beginning of a hole, and then he had to switch it up. Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
Well, there you go.
So
we did. You and I talked beforehand about making a couple of assets for some of the par 4s, and you decided no, don't do it. It might break. But I decided I went ahead and did it anyway. So how did that turn out? Did he break them up, or did he just do one?
At one point, it worked really well on hole number 10 because we had the 3-card backup there. So
wow.
we got to play some of it. Then we'd cut back to the live footage, and we could play some more of the women. Cut back to the live footage. It didn't work the way it was intended to work, but it ultimately still was useful, and I think people enjoyed it.
Okay.
So,
Good.
And I know this is beating a little bit of a dead horse, and I know I sound a little whiny when I say it, but backups suck. And I know they suck 100 times worse for the actual golfers, I get that, but they suck for media too, for live media.
Yeah.
Because it makes things more challenging on our end. We lose momentum. people lose interest or
Is
focus.
it a positive for the spectators? Because we killed it the whole way through until the backup, so then the backup gave them time to go get the beer and the popcorn.
That's
So
possible.
It's a positive.
Think of it, yeah, maybe I'll spin it that way.
Yeah, here's your
Tomorrow.
12-minute break to go get
Go
popcorn.
do some other stuff. Maybe we would just do that.
But please come back.
We'll have to call it some kind of intermission.
I think the word momentum is the key, because it does, you are flying along, things are going great, and then all of a sudden, man. So I will say, and everybody watching probably also figured out that I changed my mind about halfway through, 2/3 of the way through. I was doing it, showing all of Paige's shots, and then all of Sarah's shots, and then all of Madison's shots. And then when Madison got on the tee, I showed all of Madison's, and then separate. So whoever went first, I showed all their shots on that hole, and it was just like a boom, boom, boom. And then towards the end, I started just doing them in the order that they took them. And that felt a little more real to me, because if Paige hits her 30-footer, it puts a little extra pressure on Sarah's 25-footer.
True.
So
True.
I thought that it felt a little more real. And if you want to, I'll put that question out to all of you guys and girls and moms and dads and brothers.
Yeah, I would be curious to know, because as
Yeah.
you said, you're editing what's the word I'm looking for? The editing strategy that you've had from day one for this is not necessarily what I would have thought. I was thinking about, because I'm used to just playing the shots in succession of how they're happening. So for you
Right.
to break them up and put them by person is definitely a very different. I'd be curious. I haven't seen the footage.
It
I'll have to go
seemed,
look at it.
when I did it by person, it seemed easier to follow. Because, okay, Paige throws her drive, it landed there. Okay, here's her second shot, it lands there.
Sure,
Here's her
okay.
third shot. And just as a piece, it seemed easier to follow. But then as I got towards the end of the round, I said, okay, no, wait a minute. There's actually some tension that should be building up here, and I wanted to adjust to the chronological order.
Yeah,
So-
and so on the board, the little response so far that we've gotten, Gary back home
Yeah.
says it's easier for him when you keep the people together for graphics.
Well, that's
so
a
that's a
valid-
consideration.
that's a valid thing.
So Gary to the O, quit whining. Someone else has said Scott says he preferred them in the order of shot, not all one player. So that's
Okay.
a vote that way.
I'd
Johnny
ask-
V says
I want to follow up to Scott. Was it a big deal, or was it just hey, that's what I'd rather like? There's a.
yeah. Where's your?
I
yeah.
prefer chocolate chip ice cream versus cookie dough, but
You'll eat
it's
them
not
both.
really a big deal.
I mean, I've seen you. We might have some at the house still.
We do. Not a lot.
Johnny V says he doesn't care either way. Vinny Monataneri says I definitely like the single player style.
Good.
Scott Williams says I got more of what was going on with one person at a time. Somebody says I like it. Someone else says it's more realistic. Kevin James says I liked the hole with a single player. Someone else says realistic is good. And then Scott says not really a big deal, but the dramatic effect better.
So
Like you
maybe
felt.
when it happens that Paige hits a big putt, maybe on that at the end of that, go ahead and make that part of it chronological, because there is some tension there. And if the story allows it, use it.
Yeah, I feel like tomorrow as the tournament wraps up, I feel like chronological is the way to go.
I think what I'm going to do is the front 9. I'm going to go per person,
Okay.
and then if the story tightens up, I'll start showing some chronological.
Okay.
But realistically, I'll just go ahead and say this: if Paige is up by 8,
May not matter.
that
as
may
much.
not matter. I might keep them together. In my opinion, we should ask Paul. Paul, could you play this hole out?
Yes, that
And then
would be
Ricky,
fair.
could you play this hole?
It helps for our editing.
Yeah, it just makes it easier on the viewers.
Garrett says you often don't have time to show all the women for that hole. That is correct. Play them in the order of the shot. Another vote that way. Mex Beast OG, sorry you're late. Yeah, you better be sorry. Glad to have you, buddy. Johnny V says change it up every other hole. Really screw Gary O up.
Can I say,
Show
okay,
the putt, then the drive. We can reverse orders, or we could just have them play it backwards.
What put 'em-
Put
how
them
did they
together
get
in
here?
order, but then hit the reverse button and have it actually
Yeah.
just.
and
And then play
so
Missy Misdemeanor Elliott.
the disc
somewhere
flies
there.
out of the basket and they catch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be. They would love that.
Yeah.
And then misnumber them, Johnny says. That would be great. Steve, as long as you're splicing the coverage, we're all good. Steve's out here trying to put together narratives. True storyteller. Steve tells some stories.
I am?
That's what they're saying.
So that reminds me of a time that I gave you my access to my Facebook account.
I don't know if you gave me access as much as...
Somehow you got access.
What?
Or was it on here?
No,
How
I did not touch anything on your computer. This morning you left. We swapped computers today.
I just thanked you effusively.
That was
and
great.
that was
You're a sweetheart.
You know for a fact that I'm not that effusive with my praise. I mean, you're lucky if I
You're
remember.
never that nice.
If I remember to cut a check, you're lucky.
Yeah, today we swapped computers.
And you do get paid, just so you know.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Sure. Can I see your dictionary for plenty? What is?
Can I see your dictionary? Where do you keep it?
Just saying. So we swapped computers today. You had to edit on mine. Your computer, I didn't touch anything on there. I just moved some files around. But you had logged yourself into my computer.
This is my computer. Jenny gave me this cover. I think it looks pretty nice. It's a
Where
Disc
could they
Golf
pick
Pro
up one
Tour.
of those?
Right here. I got it.
Okay. Also, Miles from ParagonDiscGolf.com has all of your printing needs. Make sure you reach out to him.
So I wanted to just follow up. So we did that. That was a new thing that we did. My mind is kind of spacing out a lot, but we also are doing more statistics. We're showing more stats and more lower thirds for each player. And I don't know, I've watched a little bit of the footage, probably about 20 to 30 minutes total, and I haven't seen a shot yet where it didn't have a lower third. And in my opinion, that's fantastic. We have these UDisc stats, and we are utilizing them, and people are knowing, okay, now I know Kale's on, he's hitting 71% in circle one. His drives are going into circle 171%. We know so much more now, and as somebody said, the story kind of develops itself. You almost aren't needed.
Pretty soon I'll just hit mute on my microphone.
A lot of
we'd win a few more viewers for sure.
Miles introduced me to the concept of music today. So that was yesterday. Sorry, yesterday. And so people probably play music over top of your voice.
They certainly should. Johnny V admits that Gary to the O did miss a few today, maybe 3 or 4. So getting work done out there. I love the stats, Vinny says. It's so cool to see the greens and regulations and putting percentages. UDisc is killing it.
Absolutely.
They are amazing.
So I was watching a little bit of the footage, and I was sitting in Duke's editing and watching while it's uploading. I'm just pop in, and you look at the little leaderboard in the corner, and I told Rebecca, who is also doing some editing, and I said, oh, so Kale's winning right now, and then as I said it to her, it just changed because people were putting out and the scores were updating. And I said, oh wait, no, Kale's not ahead. Oh wait, he is ahead. It was very fun. Wait, this is dynamic. These scores are literally changing instantly through UDisc.
Well, and that's even become almost a, dare I say, a criticism, not quite a criticism, but thanks to...
When I messed up yesterday, I know.
No, that's...
Get me out of
it wasn't just you.
Okay.
No, what happens is we're ultimately on approximately a 45-second delay from what happens in person to when you guys are seeing it at home. So if you are seeing a Ricky Wysocki tap in from 2 feet, you click on it. It within 1 or 2 seconds updates. The problem with that is that update also feeds on the back end to a server, which feeds to Johnny V and to Gary. And so before he's
putt,
even seen it, that may switch on their screen. If they're watching him putt, it would actually switch. So on the first day, we actually had to ask a scorekeeper to just slow down a hair because it was actually spoiling it for our viewers.
By a 30 or 40 second.
Yeah.
Okay, that's more than a hair, but...
Okay, and you certainly, we know, when there's a 2 or 3 or 5 foot, literally just a tap in, some scorekeepers were like, oh yeah, that's in.
I did that.
Yeah, not good.
Not good. Not when it doesn't always go in.
Our loyal fans and viewers are just they want it as it happens.
Well, that's an interesting dilemma.
Isn't it? I mean, what a problem to have.
Yeah, it's nice that disc golf is at that point.
Our technology has.
I'll bet the PGA is not there.
No.
Their scoring is not ahead of live.
No. We're in the future. Scott Elam says he definitely noticed it yesterday and it was distracting.
That was me. I was hitting that button before they even put out.
And it also,
and then you reminded me, Steve, that the scores are, and I was, should wait for them to put out.
And yes, AMP style, you to be the volunteers. Call out, shout out. We've got some additional people that maybe are done with the golf for the week. They could come out, be a scorekeeper tomorrow for the pros.
Absolutely.
And let's make a generic call out. This is at all the Pro Tours events. You could use more scorekeepers. It's a super simple app. We provide you with a sponsored power bank, so your phone, you can't use that excuse that your phone's going to run out of power. We'll lend you one for the day, and it's just a couple clicks on every hole. Yeah,
the one valid excuse that I heard was, I'm from Finland and my phone doesn't work.
Okay.
But and then somebody else said to me, they said parlez-vous fenêtre, and I said that's not an excuse. Mm-hmm. Parlez-vous fenêtre. Yeah, that's it.
Please something?
What? Please something.
Okay. I'm not sure.
All the French speakers out there thought that was funny.
Oh. Okay.
Or I should say both of the French speakers. I assume that language is dying.
Timing and accuracy. More mics is a question. I don't know that we need more mics.
Not on me, for sure.
Or me.
Yeah.
You. We didn't even talk about that yesterday. Maybe we won't get too far into it.
Let it go.
Go. Okay. The spotters have been amazing all week. Kept them busy at Fiesta. Scott, I don't know that I'd be bragging about that, but
so one thing you mentioned the call out. So absolutely, I would love to have more. Everybody that wants to come score should do that.
Okay.
You can go to udislive.com/help and see what it takes. It really is a very easy app. I agree with Terry 100%. Why was I going to say however? There was something in my
scoring
mind.
and spotters.
But the tournaments also need staff. I mean,
yes.
We can't just have live scores, even though, in my opinion, if I was going to do something, that's the job I would like to do. There are some people that would rather spot, and if you'd rather spot, there's a need for that as well. Mm-hmm. So all of these events.
A couple of gentlemen that came in here tonight said, I had asked them if they were playing, they said they watched the show and such, but they said we found it that if we spot, that's the best possible chance we have to see every player come through, and that's one way to look at it. If you scorekeep for a group, you're going to get the up close and in front action of 4 people playing for an entire round, which can be amazing. But if you spot or you do some job of that style, you're going to see every group come through at one point. So, there's lots of options. Please reach out to the events. We're moving to Waco in 2 weeks. We're heading over there. I haven't been there myself. It's one of the few new spots that I'll see this year. Well, what can we expect there?
So Waco, I'm going to go ahead and just admit this. I fell in love with that town. I went down and did a visit of the courses, and the people in Waco are they would rival the people in Minnesota. They are so nice. I don't know about Wisconsin. Is Wisconsin nice? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's basically the same state.
According to you, yes. I think you.
Like Finland and Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Dutch is somewhere else. He's in Tennessee.
Yeah. He is. Why isn't he here? He's in Kentucky, but why isn't he here?
I guess because he's in Kentucky.
Yeah, we miss you, Batman.
We miss you, Dutch. So, did you ask a question?
Yeah, we were talking about Waco and how you fell in love with
them. Yeah. Waco's fantastic. They're having the players' party / check-in. The first night is at the Hippodrome downtown. It's an old revamped theater, and honest to goodness, I'm not just I know that Maple Hill is gorgeous and the Sap House is great, but this is like a real old school renovated building, gorgeous building. It's going to be a very fun place to have the players' party. They might have something going up on the screen as well. And then the course, 9 holes of the course are perfect for what we do. 9 holes of the course are heavily wooded and are going to be a challenge for spectators. We've done some tweaks, so I think we've got it down to about 6 holes that are going to be challenging for spectators. But once they come out of the woods in the final 6 holes is going to be wide open and everybody's going to be able to see all that. So my one concern is we have about 6 holes that are not extremely spectator friendly. It'll work for the cameras, but you won't be able to line 200 people on the fairways.
How's the cellular signal there?
It was, I think I tested and said something about it being okay.
Hopefully.
I should have tested that.
You should have.
That was
kind of a big deal.
That was a little while ago, so
Okay.
I barely remember the question you asked.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's really exciting is they have the first suspension bridge in America that I think maybe that was ever built, or maybe that was ever built west of the Mississippi. I'm not sure. But a very old suspension bridge in America is in Waco, and they are going to close it down. I think it's foot traffic, but they're going to close it down, and that's where the Fly Mart and the festival are going to be on. Ryan, help me out. What night?
Saturday-ish night? Sunday?
No, it would be probably Friday.
Okay, Friday night.
I don't know which year is Ryan in.
I have no idea.
So, but I think it's Friday night. But that is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and just throw this out there. Almost as much fun as the Maple Hill Players Party.
Wow.
So yeah, maybe it'll be more fun. I don't know.
Well,
But I'm really looking forward to what they have. That town is very special.
Well, we're going to be there in just a couple of weeks. That's going to be a 3-day event and bringing you
Yeah.
live coverage for those 3 days. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday event.
Those guys, and they're thinkers. I'm impressed with these guys. Thursday, Friday, Saturday event. The AM side is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So all of the AMs will be playing in the morning on Friday. Come watch. Playing in the morning on Saturday. Come watch. And then Sunday they're in town. So there's the concept of leaving has been taken away.
And you're still here.
The reason that's a big deal at GMC last year for the tournament championship, that we had the AMs end on Friday, and then we had the tournament championship on Saturday and Sunday, and these guys live 4, 6, 8 hours away. I kind of feel like I'm going to go home and just watch the broadcast. And we had
Which we also enjoy, but we want people on site.
We had a couple hundred people on site, but it wasn't the 1,000 that we were hoping for. So what they're doing, I love the format that they're doing, and I'm watching. It's a test. Everything we're doing is a test. I think showing the women's coverage during the day was a fantastic success. What's going on in Waco with the scheduling is it's the first time I've ever seen this, and I'm really excited to see if it works.
And speaking of scheduling, what time are we going live tomorrow? Is it about the same time as we've done the last 2 days or 3 days?
2 o'clock, 1:55. Yeah.
2 o'clock. So right around 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, we're going to be at the Fountain Hills course, bringing you the gorgeous views that provides. Hopefully we'll see the fountain going off a number of times. We checked the weather with Paige Pierce. Now I forget. It was somewhere in the 70s, I believe, and 0% chance of rain. So
I've heard that it's somewhere between -10 and 15 at home. Probably both of our homes.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of happy I'm here.
Yes, I'm definitely happy I'm here. Well, I think we can just about call it a night. Michael Gibney, I don't know where you've been all these days, but you're late to the party, bro, as we're about to wrap things up. Steve, it's been a lot of fun. I may or may not be back here tomorrow night. I won't be at Duke's. I think we may set up outside the Euro Cafe. If you want any remaining chance at getting a Bevel beer collaboration that they did with Perch Brewery, you have to go out to the Euro Cafe. That's going to be on tap. They're a sponsor of the event, and Bevel beer has that's the last place it's available. So
at the Euro Cafe?
At the Euro Cafe. That's
right next to Fountain, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right off of hole 18 at Fountain. They have, I've gone on record and said some of the best calzones that I've ever had.
What?
I didn't like calzones till I had theirs.
Miles, is that where we ate at the Euro Cafe? That food was awesome. What did we get? Oh, I got a salad.
That's
salad.
Cute. Sure.
But I said, could I have some bread with it? And the bread was insane. Those people I just wanted a piece of bread. And There's some like pretzel wrap kind of beautiful thing with butter and
Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Let's get this tournament done so we can eat calzone.
Let's do it.
Again, I haven't had calzone still. I've had theirs, and it was really good.
So, Jim is on his way out. Good night, Jim. But we just cleaned up the festival tonight. Another great night at the festival.
Yes.
But 3 guys stuck around and just said, "Hey, do you want help breaking this down?" And if you ever want to be a hero, stick around at the end of the festival and help us clean up, because
it's a lot of effort, a lot of baskets, a lot of weight, a lot of push-ups.
Yeah, the body gets younger and younger. It's awesome.
Sure, we'll buy that. All right, well, we're gonna close things out. We appreciate you guys joining me for a third straight night here. Johnny V's working on the smash cut, so look for that to be out as soon as possible. I know he's splicing it together as we speak. I'd like to thank Rick and Chad for helping me out the entire week here with the cameras and with the setup and breakdown that we've had for the podcast. Miles and Steve, all the guests we've had stop in, Paige Pierce tonight, along with Josh from Boom, all the support that they're giving. And looking forward to an awesome day tomorrow. We're going to be wrapping this guy up and heading to Waco in a couple weeks.
Have we asked people to share? Like
Not enough.
To ask.
Never once.
So the interesting thing for me, I was on the, I watched for a little bit, and this is my promise and my last thing I want to say.
No, it's fine.
But we went for a little, I was watching for a little bit, and I couldn't help myself but tell people, please share this feed with people. And I think it was at 2,700 when I said that, and I said I'd like to let's share right now and get this thing up to 3,000. And the next time I checked, about 20, 30 minutes later, it was up to 2,600. So it didn't quite catch on. And I think perhaps some guy typing, "Hey, share this," doesn't really mean anything to people. But to me, what we're doing, we're building, in my opinion, the modern age of disc golf. We're building a true pro tour that geographically sensible, where pros can say, you know, I have a potential job over here. I could be a plumber, I could be an IT guy, I could be whatever I want to be. But this is a job, like I could actually become a disc golfer, and that's something that I want to try to do. And so we're trying to build that, and it's going to build the legitimacy of the sport. It's going to build the concept like when Edge goes to a school, and then the kids learn about it, but there's no professional sport, so they don't really care about it. But now the kids learn about it and they say, oh wow, there's Ricky Wysocki, there's Paul McBeth, there's Nate Sexton, there's all these guys now. And so it feels a little more real to them, and it's much more likely that it'll stick, in my opinion.
I completely agree. It's been something that's been talked about for years. The pros have wanted a logical, practical tour. We're providing just that, everything that you've envisioned and put together, and then we're trying to put it out to the world through Smashbox and all of the other social media, along with the post-production crews by Prodigy and Central Coast and Jomez Productions, all killing it out there. So we just ask that you share it. That's all we ask that you do.
So we don't
even ask for money, do we? No, we don't even ask you for money. We want you to click a like and a few shares.
I wouldn't mind money. But
Money works.
But I'd rather have eyeballs. Because we've got the partners lined up. They are here. And to be honest, we're doing such a good job. I've had 3 people reach out to me and say we want to either increase our partnership or they're not on board and they want to become partners. I expect we're going to have some pretty exciting announcements in the next couple weeks. So thank you all. Thank you and UDisc for providing a service that everybody sees and loves. But we have the partners, and we have the players, and we have the venues. Without spectators, without eyeballs watching this, honest to goodness, it all goes away. If we can't demonstrate, number 1, growth over last year, number 2, significant eyeballs, significant numbers of people watching in person, coming to the festival, and online watching all of those wonderful commercials. I hope we've got a nice range of commercials that we've got going on.
We have a ton of them.
So, and
I've seen a few.
Because we have tons of partners who believe that we will get the eyeballs. Without the eyeballs, honest to goodness, this whole thing falls apart. So you really can help make this happen by just telling your friends to watch.
Or go to their house, turn on their computer, and at least give us the view. That's all we ask. Tomorrow we're going to be there with the lead card, which of course includes the two-way tie for third, Nate Sexton and Ricky Wysocki at 26 under par, Macbeth and Lazada at 29 under par. We'll splice in the women's footage, which should also be awesome. That's got Paige Pierce out in front of Sarah Holcomb and Katrina Allen. Paige was here. She said she's ready. She doesn't want to give anything away, and so she's here to battle. So we'll see you guys tomorrow when you step inside the Smashbox for the live coverage. Steve Dodge wants your eyeballs, and he wants your views.